yourself. That's a really, really big deal. My hope is that this class will be a little bit of an oasis for you. This 1 hour period of time that I will keep track of, I'll let you know when we're done, is for you to kind of close out all of this noise, all of this stuff that we all have going on around us right now, and take a breather. So I'm hoping that you have a space that's set up that's nice and quiet for yourself, or as quiet as you can be in your current location. I invite you to turn off your phone, close the door, maybe put your cat in the other room, depending on where you're at, and make this space yours for this next hour together. As I said, this is a class that is for everybody and anybody. So if you've never practiced yoga before, perfect. I'm really glad that you're here. And if yoga is something you practice all the time, that's also perfect. This is a do-what-you-can kind of a class. So I want you to tune into your body, tune into your mind, and what it is that you need during this hour. And if that means going a little bit deeper than the postures that I'm suggesting, do that. If you're still getting the hang of it and you're like, I think I kind of want to just sit with my eyes closed and listen to class tonight, you can do that too. Whatever it is that you need during this hour to make the most of this class, I want you to do that. So hopefully you have some sort of a mat or something to practice on. If you don't have a mat, a blanket or a towel can also be nice. I'm sitting on a blanket right now. That helps to prop you up a little bit, helps to provide some cushioning through our practice. And if you're new to yoga, our very final posture of the yoga practice is what we call Shavasana, where you lay down on the mat and you just relax and enjoy all of the effects of your practice. And it can be nice to have a blanket during our Shavasana. So I'm Amanda, I'm glad that you're here, and we're going to begin tonight by finding a comfortable seat, whatever that might be like for you. I'm sitting with my legs crossed right now, but if that's uncomfortable for you, if that's painful, find a seat that works. Maybe that's with the knees bent or with your legs extended. And feel free to adjust to find a seat that you think is going to work for you this evening. What's most important is that the weight is evenly distributed between both of your hips, that your ears are aligned over your shoulders, over the hips, and that you're sitting up nice and tall with a little bit of a low back curve. Envision that the crown of your head is extending up towards the ceiling as your shoulders relax down on your back. Place your hands on your knees or thighs, and close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze as you start to settle in as we begin class tonight. And as I said, you decide what's most comfortable for you. If you need to adjust your seat, do that. If you decide that having your eyes closed is uncomfortable and you'd rather have a soft gaze, then allow your eyelids to open. I invite you to begin by connecting with your breath. And really that just means noticing it as it comes in the lungs and pours out of your body. Traditionally in the yoga practice, we usually breathe through the nose, but if you're feeling a bit congested tonight, feel free to part your lips and breathe through the mouth. And as you find yourself settling into this seat, allow your breath to slow down, to deepen. Maybe this is the first time that you've even noticed your breath today. Isn't that amazing how well it serves us in all these times of chaos without us even noticing? As you connect with your breath, I invite you to quiet your mind, doing your best to let go of anything that's outside of this moment this yoga class. See if you can pause and set all those things aside for right now to take care of yourself and connect with your yoga practice. I always believe this to be true, but particularly during difficult times, we get some of the most wise information from our most trusted folks like flight attendants, for example, who are always so wise to tell us that when we're in trouble, you put on your oxygen mask first, and that allows you to help others around you. That's what this practice is about tonight. It's about you taking care of yourself so that you can then take care of those around you and those that need you. With every inhale, keep sitting up a little bit taller, a little bit brighter in your seat. With every exhale, feel your weight rooting down through your hips. Feel the shoulders relax. I got all kinds of emails and texts from people who are excited to be tuning into tonight's class. Some of them are regular students of mine, friends and family. And I invite you, if you know somebody else who is practicing tonight, to maybe bring them into your awareness. And if not, connect to this idea that there are many, like over 100, maybe more, folks tuning in right now, checking in with their breath, taking care of themselves just like you are. I like to think that collectively, the more of us that are doing this, the better things are for us and for those around us. So as you continue to breathe, bring into your awareness those other yogis out there practicing remotely, breathing, doing the best that they can right in this moment. We're going to begin our practice tonight by chanting the universal sound of Om. Om is meant to be the sound of oneness, the sound of everything happening all at the same time. And we're going to chant it just one time, and you can chant it quietly or loudly, you can chant it internally, whatever it is that feels most comfortable for you tonight. But keep sitting up nice and tall in your seat and bring your palms together in prayer position in front of your heart. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Om. Release your hands and gently allow your eyes to flutter open as you keep sitting up nice and tall in your seat. Hopefully you have some space on either side of you so that you can extend your arms out to the side. If not, feel free to adjust. But begin by sitting up nice and tall, shoulders are on the back, palms are facing straight ahead with your arms extended out to the sides. As you inhale, float your fingertips up, let your gaze lift as you look up towards the hands. Connect the palms and exhale to bring your hands down to heart center. On an inhale again, reach the arms wide, lift the gaze, reach the fingertips, connect your palms, and exhale, hands come to your heart. Inhale and reach wide. Take your time, really full breaths here. And one more time, hands come down to heart center. Inhale and reach wide. This time, when your hands get up towards the top, we're going to pause. And then check in with your seat. Make sure your ribs are tucked in, shoulders are relaxed. And if it's uncomfortable for you to look up, you can always look straight ahead towards me. Yogi's choice. And then create fists with your hands. Do some circles with the wrists. And make sure that you do both directions with the circles. And then spread your fingers really wide, coming to stillness with the wrists. So really stretch the fingers, and then stretch each individual digit across the palm. So the idea tonight is we're going to move every muscle we possibly can, getting stretching and space and breath. Spread your fingers nice and wide once again. Clasp the palms, press them up towards the ceiling. Keep your shoulders relaxed away from your ears. And then as you exhale, pull the belly in, round the shoulders, press the palms towards me, stretch the fingers here, stretch the arms. Inhale to come back up, reach the arms wide. And then as you exhale, gently twist towards the right, bringing your left hand to the right knee, right fingertips behind you as you sit up nice and tall, real gentle here. As you inhale, come back to center, arms reach up overhead. And as you exhale, gently twist to the left, bringing your right hand to the left knee, left fingertips behind you, still warming up here. Inhale to come back up to center, arms up overhead. And then exhale to release your arms down by your sides. Extend both legs straight out in front of you for Dandasana or staff pose. In this posture, both of your legs are as straight as they can be. Feet are flexed and active, and you're sitting up nice and tall. Extend your arms to either side so that your fingertips or palms are planted on the floor next to your hips. If you need a little bend in the knees here, go for it. We're still waking up the backs of the legs, warming up the body. As you inhale, float your arms up overhead, shoulders are relaxed. As you exhale, hinge forward at the hips. This is called Pashimotanasana, or seated forward bend. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. So notice that rather than reaching as far as I possibly can with my shoulders up, I have a nice long neck here, trying to preserve a nice long spine, a nice upright posture. Keep breathing as you reach through the fingertips, arms come up overhead, sit up nice and tall, and then exhale to release your arms down by your sides. Bend your right knee and place the right foot on the floor in front of you, sitting up nice and tall, and then use your hands around the shin to help you prop yourself up. You decide if your foot is going to be close to the leg or further apart, depending on what's comfortable for your body. Bring your right fingertips to the floor behind you. And we're going to twist towards the right, bringing the left arm on the outside of the bent knee, or if that's feeling a little inaccessible, you can always use your hand on the knee. We're sitting up nice and tall and then twisting around the spine. Your left foot is flexed. Gently unwind back to center and then switch sides. So extend the right leg out, bend the left knee, bring your hands around the shin. This helps you sit up nice and tall so you can really prop yourself up. And then as you exhale, left fingertips come behind you, right arm on the outside of the bent knee as you twist. And again, there are several variations here depending on how open your back is feeling tonight. And gently unwind back to center. Bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees be wide. This is called Cobbler pose or Badakanasana. Hands come to your ankles or shins as you sit up nice and tall. And don't worry about where your knees are in relation to the floor. Let gravity and the shape of your hip sockets decide that. What you're considering is sitting up nice and tall, using your breath to open up anywhere that's feeling tight. As you exhale, you're going to start to hinge forward at the hips. Keep the shoulders down. Your hands are still connected to the ankles. And then when you can't go any further, feel free to free your hands and let yourself curl in. This time you can let the shoulders round. We're tucking in on ourselves, breathing into the hips and into the inner thighs. Be gentle with yourself here in your body and in your mind. On an inhale, gently let your torso rise back up, and then using your hands, gently guide the knees together and come to a cross-legged seat. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Bring your left hand to the floor beside you and take a look down at the left hand. Extend your right arm up overhead for a seated side bend. Keep space between your ears and shoulders. Then turn your head so that you're looking straight towards me. And then if your neck allows, turn the head to take a look up towards the lifted hand as we work on range of motion through the neck. On an exhale, come through center and over to the other side. Right hand comes to the floor beside you, left arm up overhead. You're looking down at your right hand, lots of space between the ears and shoulders. And then gently turn the head so you're looking towards me. And then if your neck allows, up towards the lifted hand. Now in the yoga practice, if you ever look up and this makes you feel dizzy or queasy, or you just know that your neck does not agree, feel free to adjust, please. Inhale and make your way back to center. Come onto your hands and knees in a tabletop position. In tabletop, we have our shoulders over the wrists and the hips are over the knees. This is a great opportunity to cushion your knees if you're someone who finds that being on the knees is a little uncomfortable. You can use a blanket or fold the mat over. Toes are pointed, fingers are spread wide. On an inhale, drop your belly and chest as you look up towards the ceiling. This is called cow pose. As you exhale, press into the hands, round the spine, tuck the belly in, tuck the chin for cat pose. Inhale, again, dropping the belly and chest. We're trying to move all the vertebrae in your back here. Exhale, press into the hands, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, press the shoulders up. And then do a few more of these in your own time and in your own breath. So inhaling to drop the belly and chest, exhaling to round the spine. And think of this as trying to get movement and motion into your back. Some spots might move more easily than others. Do a couple more rounds here. And then after your next exhale, come back to a neutral spine, flat back. Engage your abdominal muscles, so pull in the lower belly, nice and strong. Stay strong in the left arm and extend your right arm directly out ahead of you. Gently extend the left leg behind you. We're lifting that left leg to hip height, flexing through the sole of the left foot, pressing it towards the wall behind you. Steady breath. You're staying as strong and balanced here as you can. If you find that this is challenging your balance, tuck your belly in and hug in at the thighs. Now you can stay right here and stay strong and steady, or you can join me in bending the left knee and with the right hand reaching behind, and maybe it's easy for you to make a connection, or maybe you're reaching for your pants or your socks. Do your best here. Just try to stay as steady as possible. If you reach the foot, great. If not, this is a yoga practice and there'll be other opportunities to keep trying this out. Stay nice and strong. If you're reaching for the foot or holding onto it, on an inhale, reach your arm and leg out nice and long, as steady as you can. And then on an exhale, lower your hand and knee down to the floor and take any movements that might feel good for you here. Sometimes wiggling the hips or doing some movements with the wrists will help. If you find that this sequence is a little rough on your wrists, a couple options. One is to walk your hands forward of the shoulders to create a larger angle in the wrists. Another option is to fold your mat over and elevate the heels of your hands. And if you have some sort of a wrist injury going on, you may want to consider trying some things on your forearms as well. All kinds of options. Find yourself in a nice firm tabletop, strong and steady in the right arm as you extend the left arm directly out in front. Keep hugging in at the thighs and at the core as you extend your right leg directly behind. Press the sole of the right foot towards the wall behind you. Toes are flexed towards the floor. Lots of breath here, so make sure that you're breathing. It's always a great indicator in the yoga practice if you're struggling for breath. You might be going deeper than you should in that moment. You can stay here or bend the lifted knee and with the left arm reach behind. Maybe you find that this side is more accessible or less than the other side. Wherever you're at is perfect. If you're reaching for the foot, release and extend the arm and leg out nice and long. One more time. And then lower your hand and knee down to the floor. Once again, take any movements that might feel good, wiggling the hips or the wrists. And then I'll invite you to join me in doing some hip circles. Now the hip circles can be really small, so you could make little isometric circles, or you could try making big circles using the whole body, moving forward and back. Now, whichever version of the circles you do, make sure that you go in both directions. And if there's one spot that really feels good, maybe spend a little bit of extra time there. And then come back to a neutral spine, flat back on all fours. And to step your right foot forward to a low lunge. So in this posture, your front knee is aligned over the ankle. Back knee is connected to the floor. I'm using a blanket to help cushion the back knee. Stand up nice and tall. Hands are on the hips. Core is nice and strong. Shift the weight in the hips forward. So here we're moving the knee ahead of the ankle, opening up the left quad and hip flexor. On an inhale, float your fingertips up. Let your shoulders be relaxed. Stay strong in the belly. And you can either stay right here or you can try a little bit of a back bend, opening up towards the ceiling. Notice how if you're doing the back bend, that challenges the balance a little bit. On an exhale, come back to center. Release your fingertips towards the floor and then move the hips back for a runner's stretch. We're straightening the front leg, flexing the right toes up towards the ceiling. And sometimes it helps to actually use your hand to help guide the leg a little bit straighter. Hands are making a connection with the floor, or if you have blocks, this can be a nice place for blocks as well. Keep flexing the right toes up towards the ceiling as you extend your torso over the right leg. Breathing into the hamstring. Bend into the front knee once again, bringing your hands to your front thigh. Left hand goes to the knee. As you inhale, sweep the right arm behind you. Turn your head, see if you can see your right thumb. Exhale to unwind back to center. And then we'll switch sides. So bring the right knee back as you step the left foot forward. And again, do whatever you need to feel nice and solid here, whether maybe this knee is different and you want to cushion this side. But stand up nice and tall on the right knee, nice and strong in your core. And then we'll start to hinge forward with the hips, pressing the weight, moving the knee forward. Shoulders are nice and relaxed. As you inhale, float your arms up overhead. Stay strong in the belly. And then you can stay right here or a little bit of a back bend. Take a look up towards the ceiling. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the face and throat relaxed. Gently come back to center. Release your fingertips down towards the floor as you shift the hips back. Remember, you can use your left hand to help straighten the left leg. Left toes are flexed back up towards the ceiling. You're extending your torso over the left leg as you get into the back of the hamstring and the knee. Nice full breaths here. Bend into the front leg so that you're in a low lunge once again, bringing your hands to the front thigh. This time, right hand comes to the knee. As you inhale, sweep the left arm behind you for a twist. See if you can see your left thumb behind you. And gently unwind back to center. Bring your hands to your front thigh. Tuck your back toes. Press into the front foot and come on up to standing at the top of your mat. If you need some other method to get up, you're welcome to do that as well. But we're going to find ourselves up at the very top of our mats in mountain pose or Tadasana. In mountain pose, your feet are hips distance apart and parallel. All four corners of your feet are pressing into the mat. Bring your hands to your hips as you stand up nice and tall. And engage your abdominal muscles here. So there's a little soft bend in the knees. You're pulling in the lower belly, tucking the ribs in while still standing up nice and tall. Release your arms down by your sides. Extend the crown of your head up towards the ceiling, getting really present and strong. Inhale and float the arms up overhead, and then steeple the fingers, so clasp them, pointing the pointer fingers towards the ceiling. Shoulders are relaxed down on the back. As you exhale, arch over towards the right side. Breathe into the left side of the ribs as you arch towards the right. Inhale to come back to center. Exhale, we'll go over towards the left side, breathing into the right side of the ribs, keeping both feet rooted. And inhale to come back to center. Reach your fingertips up, a little bit of a back bend. Come back to center and bring your hands down to your heart. Nice. Release that. Find yourself in mountain pose at the top of your mat. So we talk about movement in the yoga practice, and we often think about that as movement in the body, and it is movement in the body, but we're also trying to create some space in the mind and get some movement going internally. So pranayama, which is the breath practice in yoga, is part of that. So we're going to go through some breath exercises. Do what works best for you. So if you get lightheaded, let yourself go back to normal breathing, take a little bit of a break. It's not unusual for that to happen. If that doesn't happen, just enjoy getting some fresh breath in and getting all of that carbon dioxide out. We'll begin in mountain pose, standing up nice and tall, core is engaged. Inhale to float your fingertips up overhead, take a look up. As you exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, press all the air out of your lungs. Inhale and come to a flat back. Hands are on your thighs as you look at the floor. As you exhale, bend your knees deeply again. Press the chest against the thighs, exhaling. Press into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms wide. Come on up. Connect your palms and bring your hands to your heart. We're going to do a couple more rounds of that. Stay nice and strong. Inhale and float the arms up. Take a look up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, press all the air out of your lungs. Inhale, come up halfway to a flat back. Take a look down at the floor. Exhale, knees bend deeply, head relaxes, and then press into the feet. Inhale, arms reach wide as you come all the way up, and hands come to heart center. Last round. Inhale, nice and strong, belly is tucked in. Take a look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips, bend the knees deeply. Go as far down as you can. All the air comes out. Inhale up halfway to a flat back. Get some traction in the spine here. And exhale to release all the air out. And press into the feet. Inhale, arms reach wide as you come all the way up. And bring your hands to heart center. Close your eyes for a moment with your hands in prayer, bringing your thumbs to your sternum to your thumbs, and just check in with how you're feeling right now in your body, in your mind, and in your spirit. All this breath, taking this time for yourself. Thank yourself for this practice tonight. Release your hands, gently let your eyes flutter open. Arms are down by your sides. Inhale to float the arms up. Exhale, sit back, Utkatasana, fierce pose. So in this posture, they also call it chair pose because it's like you're sitting back in a chair, but unfortunately somebody is pulling it out from behind you. So you're super strong in the thighs and in the core. Knees are pointing straight ahead. Steady breath. Palms come together at your heart. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Exhale, straighten the legs, hinge at the hips, and fold all the way forward. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up and bring your hands to your heart. Step your right foot back for Warrior Two. Now in Warrior Two, your back foot, which is the right foot, is parallel to the back of your mat. Your front heel lines up with the back arch. You bend into the front knee and the back leg is straight. Your hips and shoulders are facing the long edge of your mat and your arms come up to a T. And then you turn your head so that you're looking over the front hand, which is your left hand. Shoulders are relaxed. They call this Virabhadrasana 2 in Sanskrit, or Warrior 2. Your feet are pressing into the floor. Your weight is sinking into the legs. Shoulders are relaxed. And then in this very powerful posture, see if you can bring some softness to your face, to your throat. Continue to connect with your breath here. Bring your right arm behind your low back, flip your left palm, still bending into the front knee, reach up and back for Exalted Warrior or Reverse Warrior. If you can, take a look up towards the left hand. Again, the legs are the same here as they are in Warrior 2, so the back leg is straight, the front knee is bent. Inhale and come back to Warrior 2. And then bend the left elbow, place it on the front thigh, reach your right fingertips over the top of your mat. Notice my left palm is facing towards the sky, right palm is facing towards the floor. This is extended side angle pose. The angle is the lifted hand all the way to the back leg. There's a diagonal line there. And you can be looking down at the floor towards the side or up towards your lifted hand. And you'll notice that as you change your gaze or the focus of your gaze, that might change your balance. Stay nice and strong in the legs and come back up to Warrior 2. Bring your hands to your hips. Kick off your back foot. Come on up to the top of your mat. If you need to take a couple steps to do that, go for it. If it feels good to shake it out at the top of your mat, do that too. Oh, nice job. All right, stand up nice and tall, and we'll step the left foot back for Warrior 2 on the other side. So again, back foot's parallel to the back of the mat. Front heel aligns with the back arch. You're bending into the right knee. Left leg is straight. And then you'll inhale your arms up to a T and turn your head so you're looking over the right hand. Nice. Soften the muscles of your face. Relax the shoulders here. And take a look at your arm behind you, the left hand. Make sure that it's sticking out directly behind you. And if it's not, adjust. And then bring your gaze back towards the front of your mat. Bring the left arm behind the low back, flip the right palm and reach up for Exalted Warrior. If you're able, take a look up towards the lifted hand. Otherwise, you can look straight ahead towards me. Stay soft in the throat and keep the shoulders relaxed here. Lots of breath through the right side of the body. Inhale to come back to Warrior 2. Stay nice and strong in the legs. Bring the right arm to the front thigh. Reach the left fingertips over the top of your mat. And in this pose, stay super strong in the legs. So this front arm is just for a little bit of balance. Nice diagonal line. And you can be looking towards the floor, the side, or up towards the lifted hand. Strong and steady, come back up to Warrior 2. Nice. Bring your hands to your hips, kick off the back foot and come on up to the top of your mat. And once again, shake it out if that feels good for your body. And find yourself in mountain pose or Tadasana up at the top of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. Feel some engagement in the legs. So that means hugging in at the inner thighs, lifting at the arches of the feet. Bring your awareness to your left foot. And begin to pour your weight into the left foot as you start to free the weight on your right foot. And see if you can come up to your right big toe. Most of the weight is on the left leg, just a little bit on the right big toe. And then if you're able, can you start to get some space between your big toe and the floor? Now for some of us, we're working on just trying to get a little bit of space off the floor tonight. And that is great. Stay as strong and steady as you can in the left leg. If you're feeling really grounded and you're able to get your knee up higher, see if maybe you can get it up to hip height. If you have it up to hip height and you're feeling pretty grounded, see if you can bring your hands around the shin, bringing the shoulders on the back as you stand up nice and tall. Now, if you're in your living room right now and you're like, wait a minute, my knee does not nearly get up that high. Not to worry, that's why this is a practice. It would not be fun if we could just do all of this stuff right off the bat. So if you are somewhere right here tonight, that's perfect. We're much more interested in groundedness, stability, and strength than being able to do all the extra fancy stuff, and that kind of plays out in life as well. So be nice and kind to yourself wherever you're at, and gently let your foot come down to the floor and shake it out a little bit. Nice job. All right, other side, so find mountain pose once again. This time bring your awareness to your right foot. Maybe this will be a different scenario. But nice and strong in the core, begin to shift your weight and start by bringing your left big toe to the floor, and then see if you can create some space. And if you're feeling grounded, maybe you're able to lift the knee up a little higher. It really helps to flex that standing foot. And if your knee is up at hip height, maybe you're able to even get your hands around the shin tonight. Wherever you're at, notice how amazing that right ankle is in keeping us upright. Steady breath. Hands come to the hips wherever you're at. Let your foot come down to the floor. And once again, shake it out. Begin to pour your weight into the left foot once again. As you inhale, see where you can get on the right side. If you can get the foot off the floor, great. If not, just focus on staying steady. And then gently step your right toes back to a high lunge. So a high lunge means that the back heel is off the floor, back knee is off the floor, and make sure that your feet are hip width apart. So it might feel good to move your left foot more towards the left edge of your mat so that you're more stable. You can scoot your right toes behind you further if you really want to open up through this right quad and hip flexor. Stay nice and strong in the belly, pulling in the lower abdominals. As you inhale, float the arms up, let the shoulders be relaxed. Breathe into anywhere that you're feeling a stretch or that you could use some space. Bring your palms together at your heart. And on an inhale, we're going to open up towards the left side. So your right hand's in front of you, your left hand is behind you, thumbs are up. You're breathing, staying strong and steady. And then gently come back to center, bringing your palms together at your heart. Release your arms down by your sides with your palms facing straight ahead. Let the shoulders roll onto your back here. Take a couple of breaths. Hands come to the hips, press into the front foot and come on up to the top of your mat. Shake it out if that feels good. And then find mountain pose again. As you'll notice, mountain pose is the basis for pretty much every posture in yoga. This nice, tall, present awareness in the body and in the abdominals. Feel your right foot firmly rooted and start to shift your weight. Let's see where it goes on this side tonight. If you can get some space between your foot and the mat, that's great. If not, no worries. Strong and steady, gently step the left toes back to a high lunge on this side. And again, make any adjustments that you need to. This is a practice, not a performance. So if you need to scoot your right foot more towards the edge, do the scooting. Stay nice and strong in the belly. Inhale and float the arms up. Shoulders are relaxed. Remember, you can move your left toes behind you even further if you want to get more of a stretch through the left quad. A little bit of a back bend. Take a look up. Bring your palms together at your heart. Stay strong in the belly, relaxed in the shoulders. As you inhale, we'll open to the right. So left hand is in front of you, right hand is behind. Hug in at the thighs here. That will really help with the stability. On an exhale, come back to center, bringing your palms together at your heart, and then release your hands down by your sides, really broad and open through the collarbones here, rolling the outer upper arms back. Bring your hands to your hips, kick off the back foot and come on up to the top of your mat. Find your feet hips distance apart and parallel. Palms are down by your sides as you stand up nice and tall. As you inhale, float your fingertips up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Take your time as you fold all the way forward. Connect your hands to something. So whether it's the floor or a block or your shins or thighs, let your head relax here. Let the crown of your head point towards the floor. Step your right foot back to a lunge. So your hands are coming to the floor or blocks. Right toes are stepping directly behind. Left knee is over the front ankle. And then gently plant the hands and step your left foot back to plank, which is top of a push-up. Now, if you need to drop your knees first to get back there, do that. If you can step straight back, that's fine also. But we're gonna end up with the shoulders over the wrists. The legs are nice and straight. Your core is tucked in, strong in the glutes, and you're breathing. And then you can either lower your body to the mat in one straight line, or you can join me in dropping your knees, pointing the toes, and then slowly lowering your torso all the way down. You're laying flat on your stomach. Hands are under the shoulders and elbows are tucked in. Toes are pointed. As you exhale, peel your chest up off the mat for Cobra, Bhujangasana. And exhale to lower back down. Tuck your toes, and we're gonna work our way back to downward dog. Now you can come through tabletop or through plank, but we're gonna press into the hands and the feet as the hips move up and back for Adho Mukha Svanasana. In this posture, your hands are shoulder width apart or wider. Your feet are hips distance apart, and your body is in the shape of a pyramid. Let the head relax. And then walk your feet up towards your hands so that you're at a forward fold at the top of your mat. So feet are hips distance apart and parallel, and you're hinged forward at the hips. Bend your knees as you inhale, reach your arms wide, all the way up. Nice job, connect the palms. Exhale and bring your hands to your heart. First half of a sun salutation, there's only one more half to go, so that's pretty cool. Find mountain pose once again. Inhale and let the arms float up. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. If you need to bend the knees a little bit, do that. This time we'll step the left foot back to a lunge. Front knee is aligned over the front ankle. Fingertips are connected to the floor or blocks. Keep your shoulders on your back. And then gently make your way back to plank, top of a push-up. If you want to drop your knees first, you're welcome to do that. But we've got the shoulders over the wrists. Legs are nice and straight. On an exhale, lower yourself down to the floor. You can drop your knees or lower the whole body as you come all the way down. Hands under the shoulders, elbows tucked in. Exhale, peel the chest up off the mat for Cobra once again. Exhale to release. And tuck your toes, work your way back to downward facing dog. I'm going up through tabletop, but you can go through plank if you'd like. Once you're in down dog, you're pressing into the hands, you're pressing the hips up and back. You can pedal the feet out here, so alternate bending each knee, bringing each heel closer to the floor. Come to stillness with the feet, and then walk your feet up towards your hands so that you're at a forward fold at the top of your mat once again. This time, grab opposite elbows. Let your head hang loose. Keep your legs grounded and just gently let your torso rock from side to side and ragdoll. Let your head relax. Release the elbows, bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up. And bring your hands to your heart. Nice job. Release that. Shake it out a little bit. All right, so find yourself up at the top of your mat one last time in mountain pose, standing up nice and tall. Bring your awareness to your left foot. Feel it firmly rooted. And then begin to shift your weight, freeing your right foot and placing it wherever it makes sense against the left foot for tree pose or Vrksasana. And if you're like, I've never done tree pose before, I'm not really sure, here is what your options are. One option is to place the foot against the ankle. Another option is to place the foot against the calf. And if you're feeling really grounded, maybe you can even catch the ankle and place it on the inner thigh. Notice it's above the knee. The knee is like the place where it feels like it would be the best for the foot to go, but please avoid that. When you find your tree, bring your palms together at your heart, and remember, we're pressing the foot into the leg and the leg into the foot to help with the balance here. If you need to change the positioning of your foot, you're welcome to do that. Palms are pressing together at your heart. And then you can either stay here, because this might be plenty, or if you want an additional challenge, try growing the branches up overhead, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping the face relaxed. Nice job. Connect the palms overhead. Exhale to bring your hands together at your heart. Knee comes forward, lower the foot, and shake it out a little bit. Balance is one of those things that changes from moment to moment, day to day. So this is just a practice to keep us really present within ourselves. So if you're struggling with the balance tonight, it may be different the next time that we're together. So do the best that you can, and we'll move to the other side. So feel your right foot firmly rooted. This might be a totally different scenario. Start to shift your weight, free your left foot, and you've got the options of placing it against the ankle, the calf, or the inner thigh. And remember to press wherever makes the most sense for you, keeping the left knee pointing straight out to the side, foot into the leg, leg into the foot. And bring your palms together at your heart. It helps to press the palms together while you're pressing the foot into the leg to maintain balance here. You can stay here or grow your branches up overhead, letting the shoulders relax. And if you find that you're starting to sway, that's kind of the way that trees are built. It doesn't bend, break, so do let yourself sway if that's what's coming into your tree tonight. Connect the palms overhead. Exhale to bring your hands to your heart. Bring the knee forward, lower the foot, and shake it out a little bit. And from here, come down to a seat on your mat. And we're going to begin by coming to a wide-legged seat. And it doesn't have to be the widest seat that you have ever done before. Make sure that it's a seat that you can sit up nice and tall in, that the toes and the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, and that the weight is even between both hips. So I like to pull the fleshy part away from my sits bones to accomplish that. Still sitting up nice and tall, turn your torso towards the right leg. As you exhale, keep the torso aligned with the leg and hinge forward. Keep your left hip rooted and bring your hands wherever is comfortable for you while still keeping space between your ears and shoulders. So for some of us, we really want to reach as far as we can, and you're welcome to do that, but I invite you to take advantage of this opportunity to really keep a lot of space through the neck and keep our shoulders on our back. Nice. Gently make your way back to center, and then we'll switch sides. So turn the torso towards the left leg. There's a little twist element going on. As you exhale, hinge forward. Walk the hands forward wherever is comfortable for you here. Keep the right hip rooted. On an inhale, make your way back up to center. Hands come to the floor in front of you. Keep sitting up nice and tall, and remember, be kind to yourself and your body and in your mind here. So as you exhale, begin to move forward. Listen to your body. Only go as far as feels like makes sense for you tonight. Lots of breath wherever you may need it. On your next inhale, let the torso rise back up. Using your hands, grab behind the knees gently, bring the feet back together. Let the soles of your feet come together. Let your knees be wide once again in Badakanasana, sitting up nice and tall. As you exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward, free your hands. Once again, let yourself curl in on yourself. This is one of the only postures in yoga that you'll ever hear me talk about, letting your shoulders come up by your ears. As you inhale, let the torso come back up and use your hands to gently guide the knees together. And then scoot your way up to the top of your mat so that your toes are up at the very top and you're sitting up nice and tall. Engage your abdominal muscles, so pull the lower belly in, tuck the ribs in, and extend your arms out in front of you. Nice long neck. Do your best to keep your feet grounded. As you exhale, we're going to lower ourselves down to the mat. So we're lowering all the way down. See if you can keep your feet connected. And when you finally get to that point where you feel like you can't go any further, let yourself relax down to the mat. Release your arms down by your sides. Keep your knees bent with your feet flat on the floor and walk your feet in towards your body so that the feet are hips distance apart and parallel. Arms are down by your sides with your palms face down. Shoulders are nestled down on your back. Press into your feet and lift your hips up for bridge pose, or Setu Bandhasana. Keep looking up towards the ceiling, so don't turn the head at all. Knees are pointing up towards the sky and you're tucking in at the glutes. On an exhale, gently lower your spine and hips back down to the floor and hug your knees in towards your chest, gently rocking from side to side or front and back. Place your feet on the floor once again. Straighten the right foot up towards the ceiling. Hands come behind the right thigh. Your right foot is flexed as you press the thigh into the hands, opening up the back of the leg. Release the back of the thigh and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Bring the legs in towards the body for a reclined pigeon pose. And if you can, reach in between the gap and bring the hands around the left thigh or shin. Keep both feet flexed here. On your next exhale, release both feet down to the floor. Knees are bent. Extend your left foot up towards the ceiling. Hands go behind the thigh. Press the thigh into the hands as you flex the foot up towards the ceiling more. Release your hands and cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Bring the legs in towards the body and wrap your hands around your right thigh or shin. This can also be a nice place for a strap or a towel if you're having a hard time making a connection between your hands. On your next exhale, lower both feet down to the floor. Knees are bent, and release your arms down by your sides. Bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees go wide for a reclined angle pose. Arms are down by your sides with your palms face up. And at the very beginning of class tonight, I mentioned Shavasana, which is our final resting posture. This pose with your feet together and your knees wide is one option for Shavasana, if that feels good for you. Use your hands to gently guide the knees back together. Hug the knees in towards your chest one more time, rocking side to side or front and back. Come to stillness, lower the feet down to the mat, and then let your feet be wide, so bring them to the edges of the mat. Arms are down by your sides. Let both knees fall over towards the left side. And then bring the knees through center. Feet stay connected to the floor as the knees go over to the right side. We call this a windshield wiper. So as quickly or as slowly as you would like, just gently let the knees windshield wiper back and forth. This is massaging for the lower back. And then come to stillness with both knees pointing up towards the ceiling, feet are connected to the floor. Let your knees fall in on one another. This is another option for Shavasana. And from here, we're going to move into our final resting posture. You're welcome to take the option of the feet together and the knees wide, the feet wide and the knees together. Or a traditional version of Shavasana is with your legs extended straight out on the mat with your feet mat width apart, and you just let your feet relax off to the sides. Everyone should have their shoulders nestled down on their back. Arms are down by your sides with your palms face up, so there's lots of space between your arms and your body. The backs of your hands are well off your mat. I'm going to sit up for the rest of our practice, but please stay reclined in Shavasana. This is the most important part of the yoga practice. So close your eyes. Feel the firm support of the floor beneath you. And enjoy these last few moments of our practice together. With every exhale, let yourself melt a little bit more into your mat and into the floor. Hopefully you're still reclined, laying on your mat in Shavasana. Allow your breath to deepen and bring a little bit of movement back into your toes and your fingers. On an inhale, reach your arms up overhead and extend your legs out nice and long for one final long stretch. Hug your knees in towards your chest as you roll onto your right side. And then, using as little effort as possible, make your way up to a seat with your eyes closed. And sit up nice and tall like we did at the beginning. Bring your palms together in prayer position in front of your heart. I am so thrilled that so many of you tuned in to our practice tonight. This is the time for us to be taking care of ourselves in our minds and in our bodies. And as we know, our minds are very powerful things. And at times we really experience that when fear sets in. But equally powerful is our ability to change those thoughts, to change the course of our mind to something that is more nourishing, more calming, and relaxing. And when we do that, not only is it good for us, but it's good for everybody around us. And boy, couldn't we use some of that right now. We'll close by chanting the sound of Om, and we'll chant it one time as loudly or as softly as you would like. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Om. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each of you with great respect. I am so appreciative that you showed up tonight. Namaste. Thank you so much for coming to class tonight. Thank you so much for OLLI for putting this wonderful thing together for us. I hope that we get to do it again next Monday. Be well, everybody. Thank you.